Every minute, somewhere in the world, one more person's life is shattered by a devastating spinal injury. Till less than 70 years ago, spinal injuries were considered untreatable, and patients were often left to waste away, alone and uncared for. It wasn't till World War II that the sheer number of grievously wounded soldiers led to a desperate need for a revolution in the treatment of spinal injuries. Sir Ludwig Guttmann and Donald Munro, working independently on both sides of the Atlantic, showed that with proper care, even people with the most severe injuries could be trained to lead a near-normal lifestyle. Yet, even today, millions of people around the world suffer needlessly due to improper treatment and neglect. Spinal injury management remains one of the most complex challenges for the medical community, requiring skillful coordination between a multidisciplinary team of specialists and a lifelong follow-up with doctors, nurses, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, assistive technologists, psychologists, social workers, peer counselors, with everyone in the chain working in harmony towards one simple goal: to ease suffering, increase independence, restore dignity and hope, and make life for the spinally injured worth living once again. The real tragedy is not just that so many people get injured, but that many of them still do not get the care they need. All too often, patients get the wrong treatment because the doctors, nurses, and paramedical professionals just haven't been trained properly. Or the injury got aggravated due to mishandling during evacuation, inaccurate diagnosis, improper surgery, inadequate physiotherapy. This is totally unacceptable in today's world. With all the advancement in pre-hospital care, radical breakthroughs in surgical tools and techniques, cutting-edge research into acute and rehabilitation management, it is truly heartbreaking if even one person misses out on the chance to receive proper care, rebuild a broken dream, and restore meaning to life. It is indeed unfortunate that even some medical and paramedical professionals, as well as policymakers and service providers, give such low priority to the management of spinal cord injuries. Most of them would rather allocate funds to more easily treatable conditions. They're also not interested in offering expensive, lifelong, complex treatment to people who often cannot pay. This is grave injustice to the injured, many of whom are the sole breadwinners of their families and still have the potential to lead productive lives. The real problem is not just apathy. It is lack of awareness and education even among the medical community, who are often not given proper training. Spinal injury management is not even included as part of the medical curriculum. There is thus a huge gap in the need and availability of skilled personnel. It is truly time for a second revolution in the management of SCI. Although the fundamental human rights of persons with disabilities, particularly the right to healthcare, rehabilitation and community inclusion, are now for the first time acknowledged and protected through the UN Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities, problems persist and need to be resolved urgently. Today we have powerful communication tools that can be utilized to reach out and impart education to people in the remotest areas of the world. The International Spinal Cord Society, ISCoS, in association with the Asian Spinal Cord Network, Livability Ireland, the Indian Spinal Injury Centre, New Delhi, and supported by Access to Healthcare, has brought together leading international experts from different disciplines to form a powerful global force for revolutionizing the comprehensive management of spinal cord injuries. we have all come together to launch eLearn SCI, a powerful web-based e-learning tool that is easily accessible to anyone, anywhere in the world, and provides complete and up-to-date knowledge for administering the right care to a spinal cord injury patient at every stage. Right from proper evacuation, specialized acute care, to comprehensive rehabilitation and eventual reintegration into the community. It comprises 7 modules, each one targeted at a specific group. The first module provides an overview for the whole team. The doctor's module provides detailed, in-depth information to upgrade the knowledge and skills of non-specialists and general practitioners who are often the first to attend to the injured. The nurse's module provides practical guidelines on the proper handling of the spinally injured, especially in an emergency room. The physiotherapy module provides comprehensive, updated information on new tools, techniques, and breakthrough therapies. The occupational therapy and assistive technology module provides practical, easy-to-follow, hands-on information. The psychosocial module is specifically targeted towards imparting knowledge to psychologists, social workers, and peer counselors on handling the special needs and concerns of those with spinal injuries. The prevention module is targeted at large-scale employers, public sector units, the government, and policymakers to exhort them to enforce environment, health, and safety regulations as a mandatory requirement for the protection of the community. The overall aim is to educate the medical community and paramedical professionals about basic principles of SCI management, to provide resources and training materials to fill in the current gap in knowledge due to lack of professional development opportunities, to create awareness of new therapies and their availability, to spur a change in the mindset of policymakers towards protecting the rights of persons with disabilities and providing job opportunities without discrimination, to promote the necessity of preventive measures to ensure the safety of employees, especially at dangerous workplaces like construction sites, to ensure that SCI management gets the priority it deserves.
The purpose really is to enable people who do not have ready access to a spinal cord service but have responsibilities for the patient with a spinal cord injury, or people who have a spinal cord injury are in isolated situations where they can't readily get information that would be helpful to them. Because what you can currently get on the internet is not practically helpful. And that's what the e-learning program is about. So it's a knowledge transfer, knowledge availability in a very practical and useful sense.
E-learning is a fantastic tool. E-learning gives us the possibility to have a message spread worldwide. For sure, this will be a dynamic process. For the years to come, we'll have to update and make each of these many modules better and better. It is about, for us, to try to make the life and the quality of life for those who live with a spinal cord lesion better, if at all possible.
More than 240 experts representing 25 countries across the globe have been working since then to develop the educational resource for the 7 modules and its various sub-modules. We hope that this tool will not only help in bridging the gap in the knowledge amongst the medical and paramedical professionals, but will also help in creating awareness amongst the policymakers, the healthcare providers, and the community in general.
E-learning is just so much more powerful than a book. What we've managed to achieve is an interactive learning tool in which students can go online in their own time and can work their way through the different modules. Case examples of real people taken from every country around the world, and students can actually devise physiotherapy programs for those patients, and they get feedback about the programs they devise. And I really hope that the universities that are teaching physios around the world will pick up on this.
The treatment and care of people with spinal cord injuries is very important. But there's another important factor, and that's their families. And all too often, families get neglected. Unfortunately, there aren't good programs that help support family caregivers. There are a lot of studies on the depression and burden that comes with caregiving. So we need to do what we can to provide information and support to these family members.
The recently published World Report on Disability cites that over 1 billion people in the world have a disability, are living with a disability, and many of these people are poor and live in emerging nations where they do not have access to appropriate comprehensive services, where they're denied access to education, to employment. So we have come a long way. We have a long way to go, but I think again, together we can get there.
The applicability of this tool is far wider than I think was originally envisaged by the team. I'm also very pleased that we, the consumers, the SCI consumers as we like to call ourselves nowadays, have been asked to be involved in this project, both as authors and collaborators, but also in assessing the modules as they've been developed. And one of the things you have to take into account are the interests and goals of the person who has sustained a spinal cord injury. Then I can see huge gains for all of us by having access to an e-learning tool like this.
We believe it is not enough to feel compassion. It is time to fulfill our responsibilities as a civilized society and help all citizens of the world fulfill their potential. Real-life heroes in the everyday world continue to amaze us with the resilience of their spirit and joie de vivre. We at ISCoS are determined to work towards building an inclusive society. Today, we rededicate ourselves to our mission, to work together with our global medical fraternity towards building a better, happier, more fulfilled life for all.